Nightly greetings, one and all. William Theo here, homegrown and happy to bring you PTV News Now. And we kick off tonight's top stories with Quad Committee Chairperson Surigao Representative Robert Ace Barbers, on the eve of his 9th panel hearing tomorrow, has a new interesting idea to carry on with his committee's probe and a parallel inquiry to be launched by the Senate shortly. A joint investigation into the EJKs, illegal drugs, and illegal POGOs and their linkages. Barber said a unified probe benefits both House investigations, with lesser time entailed and resources extended, especially in scheduling of resource persons and in the drafting or composition of appropriate legislation to address the pitfalls of an aggressive campaign versus illegal drugs that short-circuits the criminal justice system and discriminates against the thousands of poor and indigent users being deprived of their chances to reform and rehabilitate themselves. Still, a number of Barber's colleagues in the Quad Committee expressed doubts and pushback against the idea of a joint probe, especially if Senators De La Rosa and Go do not recuse themselves and their closeness to the former president and their recent pronouncements attacking resource persons like Kerwin Espinosa and Royinga Garma, a handpicked Duterte former Davao Chief of Police and PCSO chairperson. Barbers confirmed having extended an invite to ex-President Rodrigo Duterte to attend tomorrow's 9th Quadcom hearing and assured he would be afforded the due courtesy he deserves. Meanwhile, between 160 to 165 million registered voters in all 50 states of the Union are expected to cast their ballots for the November 5 presidential elections. But then, the polls will be decided by 7 key swing or battleground states, to include the Sun Belt states of Georgia, North Carolina, Nevada, and Arizona. The latter a traditional red or Republican state. U.S. President Joe Biden flipped in 2020 but is trending GOP this year, as the polls show. VOA's Dora McCuar has the story.
Arizona, home to more than 7 million people, historically leans towards Republicans. Over the past 76 years, only 3 Democratic presidential candidates have won the southwestern state. Joe Biden pulled off a narrow victory in 2020, and this election year, the race is tight again.
I think kind of underscores kind of this independent nature of Arizona. You know, we've kind of, it's a strongly unaffiliated, but also kind of libertarian.
Libertarians believe that liberty is the most important political value, and that it can be achieved by limiting government power.
Predicting their vote becomes very challenging. Because how they vote in one election doesn't necessarily mean they're going to vote in the next election. And they're notoriously ticket splitters, right? So they vote differently.
The electorate in Arizona is changing, including a growing Hispanic population that is increasingly coming of age to vote.
For this election, those Gen Z voters, those under the age of 30, are now mirroring the population in general of Arizona, and that's occurring for the first time. And so there is definitely a trend among older Latino voters, perhaps, of not being distinctly or primarily Democrat. Younger voters tend to be.
The other major change in voting patterns is the large number of people, particularly from California, who are moving to Arizona.
Right, they tend to be a more Democratic or liberal vote that has kind of come in and permeate some of our, particularly our larger metropolitan areas.
Maricopa County is home to the state capital of Phoenix and has more than half of Arizona's total population. Whoever wins Maricopa usually wins the state.
It's that process where we have these big cities that are now coming to dominate state-level politics.
Riley says the issues that Arizonans care most about are the economy, reproductive rights, and immigration. 2 of those issues are on the November ballot, including Proposition 139, which would codify a woman's right to abortion in Arizona and could drive more people to the polls.
It could have a pretty significant impact. So in terms of states where we've seen this happen in the past, we have seen a bump in voters showing up.
Proposition 314 would make illegally crossing the Arizona-Mexico border a state crime, in addition to a federal crime. One issue could drive more liberal voters to the polls, while the other could energize more conservative voters.
We might see some split ticking there, right? That they maybe feel strongly on immigration and the border issue and would vote for one candidate there, but also feel strongly about reproductive rights and vote differently there.
Which means some Arizonans could vote to protect abortion rights, then split on voting for either former President Donald Trump or for Vice President Kamala Harris. Dora McQuarrie, VOA News, Phoenix, Arizona.
At this point, allow me to shift to PTV Studios Baguio City for what's hot and happening in the Cordilleras. Audrey?
Naimbag Arabi, Pilipinas, impan na Faculty Department of Education Cordillera ang may sa rehiyon, nga dan itinapinta sa performance may basar iti program for international students assessment, WINO PISA. Tapno ad-adda pay ang maipaayan itinapinta sa serbisyo dagiti estudyante, nag-hire ti ahensya itinasurok sa ngaribo at teaching ken non-teaching staff. Iti datos ti ahensya sa ngaribo 70 ket 8 ti newly created positions. Nagdudumamot lang ang programa ti ahensya ti pagnumnumaranan dagiti estudyante kas iti project hybrid learning using technology for equity and quality. Dumanon mat iti 60 a pagadalan ti mangipatpatungpal iti proyekto a pagnumnumaran dagiti 2,500 a learners. Nakaipaay damatan iti nasurok 5,000 a tablets para itinasaw a proyekto.
Ang Cordillera ay included doon sa NCR 4A na nakaroon ng magandang score sa PISA. At ito rin ay na-confirm ng National Achievement Test kung saan ang CAR-OLE ay nasa top kasama ang NCR at 4A. Kahit ang mga resources natin ay hindi sapat.
Iti sabali pay adamag na ipatungpal itangal daw ti Scout Officials for a Day iti Baguio City Hall. Dita pinadas dagiti ubing nga nagbaling nga opisyal manipod iti congressman aging iti sangguni ang panlungsod. Kaspaset ti Philippine Scouting Month celebration itaabulan ti Oktubre, 50 a Philippine Boy Scout ken Girl Scout ti nagbalin a Scout Officials for a Day itangal daw iti City Hall. Baban iti sashing of Scout Officials kadwada dagiti parentes ken dagiti opisyal iti syudad. Opisyal ang nagbalin dagiti agtutubo ang mga idaulo iti syudad iti may sangal daw. Ni Shane Edas may sangay estudyante iti Pines City National High School saan naanam namaan niya agbalin daytoy a Scout City Mayor.
I think this will be the chance na makikita ko po ang sitwasyon ng ating city and masasabi po natin sa ating mga kapwa students and mga kapwa citizens kung ano ba talagang nangyari sa ating city. So hopefully na ang pag-upo ko po ngayong araw na ito ay maging makahulugan at this is so memorable sa aking buhay.
As you take your seats today, remember that leadership is not only about holding a title or position. It is all about this position. Leadership is about influence. People will follow you if they believe in you. And what will make them believe in you? It's all about competence and character.
Dagiti damdamag manipod iti PTV Cordillera, Shak, ni Audrey Villena, Naimbag Arabi.
Many thanks, Audrey, and we've come to the program's end. Join us anew tomorrow afternoon and evening for a twin bill of newsbreakers. And you all keep connected by keeping it right here for news you can rely on. William Theo wishing you all a restful evening ahead, and many thanks for watching PTV News Tonight.